Dementia is a memory problem. It's an irritant. And as it gets progressively worse, you cannot understand, you can't speak, your reasoning, your thinking is affected, and so you become risky and dependent on other people.
Dementia to me is a tragic disease, as it's a combination of a number of losses of the individual that was.
It devastates a person's family because they progressively see the person deteriorate mentally, not physically. They can forget families, they forget friends, and that has an impact on family members.
Dementia. It's a sad reality of life. It can be caused by a stroke, an accident, or the most common form, the degenerative terminal disease, Alzheimer's. And with 50,000 Kiwis suffering from dementia, coupled with a forecast there'll be more people over 65 than people under 15 in just 10 years' time, there's no question. It's a growing concern.
The one thing dementia is correlated with is old age, unfortunately, and as our society grows older, we've got over 500,000 people already, I think, who are over 65. That number could be close to 1 million in 20 years' time. You can see that lots of older people, they're more at risk of dementia. We have no way of curing dementia at the moment, so yeah, it's a big issue for society.
But while our society tries to prepare for the future, here at Bupa Care Services, we can help those who are suffering now. There can still be dignity, respect and comfort if an effort is made to understand and support each resident with dementia through person-centred care.
On a day-to-day level, person-centred care is two things. You can only give care to somebody that is meaningful to them if you know them. So you must know that person, that's their life story. But also, we use ourselves as a barometer. If you would not wish that to happen to you, then don't do it to somebody that you're caring for.
I could feel myself getting worse and worse, and I got to the stage where I actually hated him. It was a love one minute, a hate the next. It's a horrible, horrible, horrible feeling to go through that, and you're helpless because you can't do anything. I did walk out one day, only for half an hour. He made me so wild, I just got in the car and I just drove off. But I mean that I couldn't stay living with him. I couldn't look after him. I wasn't capable of looking after him. I'd got to that stage.
When Ian first came in, he loved somebody just to sit and listen and talk to him. So often as the caregivers were involved with Ian and doing his cares, conversation and chatting about the ordinary was really very important to Ian.
Well, the key to good care is to treat them like you treat your own parents, love them, care for them, and spend time with them. Sit down, have a talk to them, cuddle them and kiss them.
It's made a big, big difference because I am able to go back to work. I can still come and see him. I can go to bed at night. I don't have to worry about him not being looked after, about him not being fed. And if I do an extra day at work, I don't have to worry that I don't come back that day because I know that he's well looked after and I know that he's happy here. And yeah, the nurses are very good, very patient. I'm much, much more content.
Dementia is a disease that can last up to 20 years. And for every one person diagnosed with dementia, 6 to 8 people are directly affected.
It is really difficult for families, and I think it's really important that we support them particularly around the first 3 or 4 weeks when a person comes into care. And just actually talking the family through every step, talking them through what we're doing, why behaviour sometimes appears to become worse at the beginning of a person's stay, why we have to assist people in the way that we do, and also just letting them know what the journey is going to be like, because it is a journey when people with dementia stay with us.
To help us at Bupa achieve the best care for our residents with dementia, we have devised 6 pillars. Know the person. Have well-trained staff. Be supportive and make sure their care home is like their home environment. Devise meaningful activities. Partner with families to ensure they're involved in their loved one's care. Participate in dementia support groups. And follow Bupa's principles.
She was in completely up to the age of 95, living independently, caring for herself, and she was a very strong woman. She had a cerebral event and lost her ability to communicate, lost short-term memory, and to see her change from being a completely independent person participating in her life to someone with so many losses, for a relative, is tragic to see.
One method we have of dealing with the person with dementia is to redirect them, and that is where you try to change the person's environment. You may take them for a walk, you may take them from their room to their lounge. It may be as simple as giving them a piece of cloth, a cushion, turning the TV on. It is changing, trying to change what that person is thinking at that time.
Looking after the people with dementia is very hard. It is challenging. You need a lot of patience. You have to understand what they're going through. Yes, it's hard, but it's enjoyable if you understand their condition.
The staff are very good at managing her moods, when she becomes aggressive, when she might be out in the lounge and being irritating to other residents, being able to move her back into her own room, giving her some space, some time out, using diversion to help shift that mood and allowing her to settle. I have great peace of mind knowing that she's being cared for in Erin Park.
Dementia has many clinical stages, from normal function to severe impairment. While some homes choose to medicate for management of behavioural issues, we here at Bupa try to use conversation and activities to engage, divert and relax, thereby lessening the need for pills.
I think dementia care in itself has done a huge turnaround, where you used to have people living in an institutionalised care for a number of years with stable doors and different colours and lots of medication. We've turned that around where we treat the person now.
And with education and specialists helping with training, and the fact that we have a strong alliance with the Alzheimer's Society, we can lead the way.
Well-trained staff is the quickest way of getting good care. They learn to do things the right way. They get to understand why we do it this way, and why it's important that we do a certain thing a certain way. And it's essential for them to understand the reasons we do things and the way we do things. So that's the key ingredients.
I had him 3.5 years at home, and he was getting to the stage where I'm frightened he was going to fall over, and he wants to wander around in the middle of the night. It was very tough because it was just me in the house with Jim.
I don't know how Mum coped with Dad at home. She would have not wanted to worry my sister or my brother and I, and she basically hid a lot of what was going on from us. And yeah, I do wonder how she coped, and it's no wonder that she was so run down. I can't imagine me doing that at home, let alone my 87-year-old mother. The manager here at the Bupa home, Catherine, said that they had this person-centred care program that they were getting into, and I thought that sounded interesting, but how does that work in an institution? But they've been really good. I sat down with them for quite a while with Dad and talked about Dad's life and things that he'd done things that interested him, who his family were, where he'd come from, all that sort of stuff that makes up a person's life. And yeah, they kind of seem to know him, even though he's only been here for a little while.
When Jim first came to our facility, he was very aggressive and he was so confused. And he used to walk around, and want to go home looking for his wife. So we read his map of life. Through his map of life, we come to know what is his likes. And he likes dancing, so whenever we have happy hours and when the entertainment is on, we blast the radio. This is how we reduce his aggressiveness, and now he's feeling very happy.
Person-centred care really focuses on the person and the unique individual rather than the disease, and it sort of helps the staff really to focus on the person and how important the person is, and getting to know the person, their abilities, their preferences, what they like to do, what they don't like to do, what upsets them, what makes them happy.
It is a relief to have Dad in a facility like this. He enjoys anything gregarious, anything out there, he loves meeting people. He kisses all of the nurses, in the morning and dances around with them given any opportunity. He loves music, and yeah, it's quite common to see him up and waltzing around. It is a relief to have Dad in a facility like this. It's really cool.
Dementia is known as the long goodbye, and even though residents and their families are experiencing huge change and huge loss, we can still strive to give our residents a better quality of life. The way we do that? Just by treating each person as an individual and following our philosophy of person-centred care.
People with dementia lose their recent memories, so what you're working with is the essence of who they are. It's their lifelong hobbies and interests that have been around for decades. Somebody who likes music, they'll still like music. Walking, gardening, they'll still like walking and gardening. So you can enrich their life, give somebody a reason still to be alive by tapping into the essence of who that person is.
Like all of us as people, we like to be challenged and stimulated. We like to interact with other people. Just because you can't remember the last minute or two doesn't mean to say you can't enjoy activities, you can't enjoy the company of other people, you can't enjoy just sitting down listening to music. We know that people with dementia enjoy all of those things.
When people have got to such an advanced stage in their dementia that maybe there's very little quality of life, but for the staff that work here, we can really see little moments, and it's those moments that really, where we know we've made a difference.
You can only give care to somebody that is meaningful to them if you know them. So you must know that person, that's their life story. But also, we use ourselves as a barometer. If you would not wish that to happen to you, then don't do it to somebody that you're caring for.